I'd like to now introduce the next speaker. Are we ready? Jayalaxmi Rai, Naman Dedhia, and Nilgun Engin, are you here? Do you have slides to prepare? Hello there. Great, wonderful. So we have Jayalaxmi Rai, Naman Dedhia, and Nilgun Engin. So you're here from the Plant-Based Treaty, based in India. Nilgun, I think you're based in the Middle East somewhere as well, and you're working together.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
I'd like it. I'll be, be great if and welcome here to, and thank you very much for being here to the 26th Vegan Convergence of the People. It's the second day now. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, Jayalaxmi, and then Naman and Nilgun Engin.
Thank you so much, Krishna. So I'm Jaya Rai, and I'm based in India, Pune, and I work for the Plant-Based Treaty. I'm the in-house plant-based chef along with Nilgun, and also the co-regional liaison Asia. So very happy to be here, and happy to, take our presentation forward. I'll pass it on to Nilgun, please, or Naman, whoever wants to.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Nilgun Engin. I'm from Ankara, Turkey, and I'm the regional liaison for Animal Safe Movement and Plant-Based Treaty in the regions MENA and Africa. And I'm so happy to be here and looking forward to the meeting. I'll pass it on to Naman.
Thank you so much, Nilgun. So, hi everyone. Super happy to see so many people here. My name is Naman. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I am the co-regional liaison for Asia. And I am a tech consultant as well. So, I advise the global team on the tech consulting and all. So, yeah, really looking forward to today's session. And I'll pass it on to Nilgun.
Thank you. So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your time to join us. We are excited to introduce the Plant-Based Treaty and share why we believe transforming our food systems is one of the most powerful opportunities to address the interconnected climate, biodiversity, public health, and food security crisis. The way we produce and consume food lies at the heart of these global challenges, but it also offers one of the greatest opportunities for positive change. The Plant-Based Treaty is a global grassroots initiative that complements the Paris Agreement by placing food systems at the center of climate action and advocating for a just transition to sustainable plant-based food systems. Today, we'll explore why food systems matter and how individuals, businesses, organizations, and governments can work together to accelerate the transition toward a healthier, more equitable, and climate-resilient future. Thank you for being here. We are excited to start, and dear Jaya will paste the Plant-Based Treaty's webpage in the chat if you would like to search a little more. And for the next slide, the impact of food... Oh, sorry. Okay. The impact of food-related emissions was finally acknowledged by the United Nations at COP28. However, the food system crisis extends far beyond climate change. Scientists have identified 9 planetary boundaries that define the safe operating space for humanity, and several have already been exceeded. Animal agriculture is a major driver of multiple planetary crises, including climate change, biodiversity loss, land system change, freshwater depletion, nutrient pollution from nitrogen and phosphorus, and chemical pollution. It is also one of the leading causes of deforestation, habitat destruction, and species extinction, placing enormous pressure on the Earth's life support systems. This also presents one of our greatest opportunities for positive change. By shifting toward plant-based diets, supporting alternative proteins, and reducing food waste, we can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions while restoring ecosystems, protecting biodiversity, conserving water, and helping to bring humanity back within planetary boundaries. Both the scale of these interconnected challenges and the pathways to a safe and just food system is clearly outlined in our Safe and Just report. Please, you can find it also in the chat, the link. It's a long one. I just don't want to take too much of your time. And the next slide. Plant-Based Treaty has come up with 40 suggested proposals to help the world. The first is to redirect resources to plant-based systems. Second is relinquishing animal agriculture. And the last one is restoring key ecosystems through rewilding and more. And also you can find in the chat about our 40 proposals in a detailed wording. So back to you, Naman.
Thank you so much, Nilgun. So as Nilgun said, plant-based treaty is modeled on the 3 Rs, and we have 5 projects that we work on. So these are our 5 major programs. First is collecting plant-based treaty endorsements. So plant-based treaty is one of the campaigns that puts bottoms-up pressure as well as top-down pressure. So we collect endorsements from individuals, from businesses, from organizations, and from cities. So from mayors and from politicians to create the bottoms-up pressure. Second, we have plant-based treaty city campaigns. So we urge citywide plant-based food strategies and create pressure on countries to negotiate a global agreement on the plant-based treaty. And third, we have menu change in public education. So it mainly aims to shift the narrative of, on plant-based food and make it more accessible for the people. And for that, we work with schools, colleges, corporate offices, universities, and multiple institutions who serve food and help them, train them to go plant-based. Fourth is global climate talks. So we always engage in advocacy and education at global climate talks, including at COP events, at bonds and FAOs and multiple high-level political forums. And fifth is training and capacity building. So we do this, for the skill development to scale up our programs. We train our volunteers, we train our team members, and we train the city level administration and everyone. So far for the plant-based treaty endorsement, we have 77 cities across the world who have endorsed the plant-based treaty, along with more than 250,000 individual endorsements across the world, and over 1,900 organization endorsements and 3,200 plus business endorsements. So these are, some of the endorsements that we have across the world. And to go deep into the menu change, I'll pass it on to Jaya.
Thank you so much, Naman. So when we say menu change, a lot of people aren't sure like what exactly does it entail. So if you've seen one of our key core principles, one of them is also redirect. So one of the most important part of redirect is encouraging people to shift from an animal-based to a plant-based diet. And that is where chefs, nutritionists, doctors, everyone come in. And this is something that we have done actively. We've worked on projects where we've encouraged people to switch or at least add plant-based options. So under menu change, you could choose a restaurant and add vegan options there and actively encourage them to maybe transition or replace an ingredient. For example, if they have paneer or cottage cheese, if you can convince restaurants to start consuming, using tofu, which is much healthier, and also raise awareness among your patrons. So that's something that we've done recently in Pune, and we're very, very happy because one of the restaurants actually said that they've already started sourcing tofu and they've come up with very, many different recipes. So that's kind of options and a mild replacement. It's not 100% replacement. But there are cases where we have done complete replacement, where we've asked people to eliminate one ingredient or two ingredients completely, and they've either chosen to replace it with a plant-based ingredient, or they have chosen to not use any replacement whatsoever and continue serving plant-based meals. I'll explain more about that. And another thing is working with institutions like schools. So if you can see the first slide, over here, it's a religious place. So that's a monastery. We visited about 13 monasteries in Bhutan very recently. And we just showed all the monks how easy it is to cook plant-based. So a lot of the hesitation when you meet people is because they're like, oh my God, plant-based, that sounds very difficult. So educating people and letting them know that it's completely easy. It's not rocket science. And the most important thing is to let people know that they have been eating plant-based, right from childhood, especially in places like India and Asia. There is a very strong culture of eating plant-based. And when you use a new word, like a new term like plant-based or vegan, they kind of get fumbled or overwhelmed. And so that is where people like us, organizations and individuals come into play. You just need to let them know that it's not difficult. It's not something unknown or completely out of the box. It's just the food that you've been eating from childhood, but you're just removing dairy and meat from it. And the next slide, sorry, not the next slide, the next photograph that you see is a Gurudwara. It's a religious place in India and in other countries as well. So we successfully convinced them to completely remove paneer, which is Indian cottage cheese, from their menu. They haven't started using tofu yet. Tofu is a perfect replacement for paneer, but they're like, we don't want to use tofu right now. When they feel the need, they might use it. So it's called langar. They serve meals very open-heartedly on a regular basis, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all throughout the week. So in this particular institution, all of their meals are mostly plant-based, unless somebody comes and gives some money and says they want to offer certain, animal-based meals, like usually vegetarian, but, dairy is involved. So that was a very big win, and we were so happy that the president agreed to that. The photograph in the center that you see, it's a rehabilitation center where we cook completely plant-based meals for about 380 patients. And the feedback was very, very overwhelming. We were surprised that everyone liked it so much. So we're actively going to work with them and ask them to introduce tofu on a regular basis as well. And there's a restaurant, the next photograph, it's a restaurant in Bhutan, which has very good plant-based options. I would say they're about 80 to 90% plant-based. And we held a training and we showed them how to work with things like mock meat. So a place like Bhutan has a very strong animal diet culture. So this was very interesting. And we've actually also told a lot of people about the restaurants, and people were surprised and amazed. They even have something like a vegan steak, which even we enjoyed thoroughly. They sourced it from another country. So people are ready to learn, ready to open up their minds. We just need more people like us to go to these, to these spaces and educate them. And the last slide is, this is evening tea time at one of the schools in Bhutan. We also worked with 2 schools as pilot projects. And usually in the evening, they used to give the kids a glass of milk and biscuits. Those were biscuits with refined flour and sugar. And we said, like, this doesn't make sense. It's so unhealthy. Why don't we give you all some ideas on what to make? And we taught them how to make. In India, it's called chaat, and in Bhutan they called it chatpati. It's basically chopped vegetables and some puffed rice or peanuts or chickpeas, various things. You just mix it all up together. It's actually looks like a very colorful salad, and then you add a tamarind sauce and a green chutney sauce on it, and it tastes delicious. As you can see, the kids were lining up, and the meal was like, the snack time was over in no time. So these are little things, and if kids are sold to the idea, you can consider it a big win, because they have no filter. They would not, they're not going to say something just to please you. So if a bunch of kids enjoy your meal, then it's a great success. Now, this is how we start. Usually, if a person is an individual, organization, whatever may be the case, the first step is to always identify the perfect space. Let's say I'm just a motivated individual and I want to do work on menu change, but I don't know how to start. So I always tell people, just step out of your house, look at the places around you. Where do you see food being served at a large scale? And that's your ideal candidate. It could be a restaurant, it could be a tiny cafe, it could be even a tea stall. And where you encourage them to also serve, for example, black tea or something like that. If you're a little more motivated, you can go to schools, you can go to universities, you can go to religious institutions, you can go to hospitals, you can go to hotels. There are so many places. Like, you're spoiled for choice technically to, for an ideal space to do this kind of work. Next slide, please. Now, this I believe, we should never underestimate the power of education. By education, I mean just enlightening people about what plant-based means, what it entails, and also making it as easy and breaking it down and making it super simple. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things, but keeping it simple really, really helps. So right here is a wonderful monastery at a valley in Bhutan. And before I went to Bhutan, we researched a little and we realized that imadashi, which is cheese and chili technically, is a very big hot favorite, amongst the Bhutanese people. So I came up with a vegan imadashi. So and I made the recipe for the cheese super, super simple because like sometimes you're at the dark recesses and top of a mountain where very little access to ingredients. So over here, what we did is we just took some tofu. I even taught them how to make some simple tofu by themselves. We took soya beans over there, which is very easily available. And we made this cheese with tofu and potatoes. That's it. We just boiled the potatoes, blended it with some tofu with a little bit of vinegar, salt, and oil. And then we made imadashi. We just heated a pan, added some oil, added the cheese and chilies, and cooked it. And it's done. So, but as you can see from the faces of the monks, they were so excited and so happy. And not only did we teach them, the next day we also tested them. So we asked all of them to form groups and cook the food that that we showed them how to make. And they were so excited. And again, the next day as well, they swiped up all the food. So there is a lot of power in education and keeping it simple, making sure that it's not something that is so difficult to do will definitely work and go a very, very long way. And yes, getting hands-on experience and taking feedback is very important when you do this kind of work because you end up learning a lot as well. Now this slide, I love this photograph, the one on the top. Naman took this photograph actually. So we were training all these. So the Ministry of Education actually helped us take on these projects. They are the ones who made it possible in Bhutan. And we have about 50 chefs from the Eastern and Western region who came to get trained. They were chefs, they were kitchen staff, there were various people, in the crowd. So here we were training them and showing them how to make some, simple plant-based meals. One very important thing that we taught them was to sneak in vegetables because sometimes kids can be fussy with the food. Actually, they're not. You just need to figure out how to do it. So we taught them how to add vegetables in their lentil curry. We told them to add vegetables, a lot more vegetables to their rice also, stir-fry rice for breakfast. We also made like even they were surprised that kids even started eating salad. So all we did was make it very colorful, chop it into very thin matchstick sizes, and make a very nice, interesting dressing. So in Bhutan, kids also love spicy food. So we added a little spice to the dressing and it was swiped out. I would say like 90% of the time salad was over. And this next photograph down, I really love that because there was one, like this is something that it's an ongoing project. So after learning whatever they did during the workshop, one of the project leaders, he's a trainer, he went and trained many more other people in his region. And this is so beautiful to see that we taught them, they absorbed it, they wrote down, they took notes, they did everything. He even called me before he was going to present. He was a little nervous. So I told him, like, do this, gave him a little tips, and they went ahead and they went and taught more people. So this was really fantastic. And this is the kind of work we're hoping to do. And we're hoping more and more people join or do it in your own capacity. But yeah, please follow this kind of, it's been proven to work very well. So we're hoping more people get on board and do this kind of work. And I'll pass it on to Nilgun, who will explain about training. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaya. So we did not only try to change the menus, but also kept building our team and trained volunteers. We shared all we could unconditionally, and we had an open mind while doing it. And we learned from each other. We did not train in a way to stay in control, but build leaders who will share their opinion and add their personal touch to all that they do. And the second slide, and also it's about training the chefs in Turkey. These are the chefs of the restaurants and the hotels in Didim. And while training the chefs, we first asked the business to organize the workshop together with the chef and the relevant kitchen staff. And we reviewed the current menu before making any recommendations. We checked the existing inventory and ingredients to identify the most business-friendly plant-based recipes, and then prioritized recipes that require minimal changes to current operations and make use of ingredients already in stock. Also, we respected the chef's expertise and the business's way of working. We presented our suggestions as recommendations, not requirements. We focused on practical, cost-effective, and easy to implement main changes, and we work collaboratively to develop plant-based options that suit the business's style and customers. We also provided the plant-based kitchen practices brochure to educate the kitchen staff on best practices for preparing plant-based meals. This prevented cross-contamination and ensuring high-quality plant-based food preparation. Next slide is about networking. We have found out that national and international events hosted in a town or city provide an ideal opportunity to launch a local menu change campaign, engaging businesses, institutions, and wider community around a shared moment of visibility and impact. This is from Antalya, and I will be telling about COP31 preparations later. But first, I'll pass it on to Naman to talk more about networking.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nilgun. So networking is a very big part of our major campaigns because all of that the success that we had is because of the networking. So it's not about just collecting networks for us, but it's also about building relationships that opens door for our future campaigns. So before meeting anyone, we just try to spend a couple of minutes, couple of hours researching about them, their role, their responsibilities, and their division. So what they do, how are they operating, their style of operation and everything. So research is something that we always prioritize and we learn about them. Second is attend. So we like while doing a city campaigns, meeting with mayors and something is very important, building relationships with them. So we also try to attend city council meetings and their events, maybe restaurant week that is organized by city council, something. So we always try to attend the local events and the conferences so that we can get our foot into the door. And third is follow-up. So I would say follow-up is our master stroke actually. We always send follow-up emails in like 24 to 48 hours. So this keeps us in their radar and they know who we are. So this just helps us to build a long-term relation, which helps us even further to get our work done and place our agenda on the table, and get, like I just said, get our work done. So yeah, and key message, one good introduction should lead to next. So that's what we always try to follow. Once we get a good connection with any city mayor, be it the MP or anyone, we always ask them to introduce us to city, sister cities or other MPs and all. So this way we try to make a chain of the events that helps us to, leverage our existing contacts and get a deeper connections. So yeah, that's how, networking is a big part of our play. And second is influencing decision makers. So as I said, these people whom we network with, they are the decision makers at the end of the day. So we start with their priorities, what they want to hear and what is their priority in their cities, their countries and all. So we always try to place our work into their priority level and we connect our work with their existing goals. So like, for example, organizing a restaurant week. So supporting organizations is one of their agenda and we are promoting businesses by organizing restaurant week. So that's what we try to do. And we always keep our decision makers informed about what's happening. We send them the updates via email, via reports. So it's always there. They are in the loop about our work and they themselves want us to do more. So that's how we influence decision makers and we try to, get everything done. And then there is a city campaigns. So as I said, we have 77 cities across the world that have endorsed a plant-based treaty from, I assume from all 6 continents across the world. So we have, almost 77 cities. So while meeting the city mayor, city councils, we read their climate action plans, we read their food policy plans, their strategies, how are they operating. And then we align plan-based treaties, 40 proposal in action that Nilgun said, with their existing goals. So we have a lot of experience across the world doing various campaigns, and that experience is something we take to another city when we are working there. And while working with any city, we work with across departments, like, public policy, be it the health department, food department, climate department. So again, we widen our reach to get the work done even more faster and then identify internal champions. So when we reach out to city council, we always try to identify people who will help us to get our work done even more faster, who will help us to promote plant-based, menu change and all. So these are the champions that help us to excel in our work. And we always share our outcomes with them and we keep them informed. And last is the request introductions. So we always have requested introductions from one city for the another one. So that is how, we got to 77 cities. I'll give you one example of Nepal. It is a country in Asia. So in Nepal, we had one of the cities called Nagarjun that have endorsed the plant-based treaty when our team was there. And while Nagarjun endorsed the plant-based treaty, so when our when our team was there in Nagarjun and after the endorsement, when the work was going on, they once again met the mayor and they asked them to give introduction for the sister cities. And they gave us for another city called Chandrajur something. So that city also endorsed the plant-based treaty and now they are even working more. So that is, one of our key thing that we always ask for introductions that helps us to take forward our movement. So yeah, and I'll pass it on back to Nilgun for the COP31 thing that will be happening in Turkey.
Thank you. So, yes, as I told, COP31 will be held in Turkey, and we started with that opportunity. COP31 opened the door to engage cafes, restaurants, and hotels of Antalya city. We focused on solutions. We showed how adding plant-based dishes could attract new customers. We built relationships, and trust came before asking for commitments. We celebrated successes. Every endorsement encouraged more businesses to join. We kept
There is something, I'm sorry, your screen is not showing. There's a white page showing over there.
Okay.
Head of COP31?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, not this one. The other one. Yes. Ahead of COP31. This is one of the restaurants in Antalya. I'm just telling the details about the city, but just one case. This is Anarkili restaurant, a Pakistani and Indian restaurant, and they are happy to add, say, 30 to 40% of plant-based dishes to their menu. And so we kept supporting our partners. We promoted them through the vegan-friendly city map of Antalya. And this is an ongoing project. It is not finished yet. So far, 19 restaurants and 3 hotels have agreed to add vegan options to their menus. And 11 of them have also committed to offering 10% discount to COP31 delegates. So about, next slide, please, Naman. About UNFCCC Climate Summit, we have been joining them since COP26, and we have been joining the Bonn climate meetings. We collaborated with Coalition Food and Climate Action Group, including 25 organizations. We collected signatures on an open letter asking for more options and promotion, and we met with decision makers to discuss motivation, requests, and challenges. So far in Turkey, we have met with the ministry, and they have committed 60% of plant-based food to be served during COP31. We are working on it. It is very promising, and we are so excited about it. Back to you, Naman.
Thank you so much, Nilgun, again. So yeah, as Nilgun said, we are working with COP30. I mean, that is in the progress, working with the COP31 delegation for the upcoming COP. And also, last week, our team attended the UN high-level political forum, which happened in Manhattan, New York City. So in the picture, we have Dr. Kimi. She is a scientific advisor, and on extreme right, she is Dr. Anita Krang. She is a co-founder and executive director. So, and Ellen from our team. So we meet a lot of people at this high level political forum, which helps us in return, to take our city level goals and country level goals even more further. And that's what we do. We try to attend all of the UN events because we are one of the official UN observers. So we attend COPs, we attend FAO summits, and other summits in across the world. So that's what we are doing right now to get our work done of plant-based food policies. And I'll pass it on to Jaya.
Thank you, Naman. So cooking demonstrations are one of the really great platform to actually get the community involved. So this particular demonstration, the photograph that you see, it is at Sadhana Forest. It's a very beautiful community space in Auroville, India. And they usually invite a lot of chefs and nutritionists to hold cooking demonstrations. So where we made a lot of delicious plant-based burgers. And I personally believe that just when you hold a cooking demonstration, don't let people just sit down and watch. Getting them involved, the hands-on experience goes a long way, because once they go back home, it will be that much easier for them to actually replicate what you have taught them. And not just that, the entire experience of learning also becomes that much more interactive. They asked questions, and we did tastings, we did so much. And it's always very exciting to get people involved with food, because it's such a bonding factor. And especially with plant-based, the more warm and welcoming you make the environment, a lot easier it is to have people open up their minds to plant-based cooking as well. If we go to the next slide. Over here, you will see Nilgun had made some oat milk, and she just sweetened it with the dates, and it's super easy. So any space that any place or opportunity that you have, if you have a festival or a community event, please don't let that pass by. And you don't have to be a chef to do something like this. You could be just a great cook. We have so many home chefs who are fantastic at what they do. Like, I have learned so much from home chefs personally, even in my family. So do not underestimate, don't think that you have to be like a trained qualified chef. You can totally do this, provided you give the right information. I think it's a brilliant platform and open for everyone. Even if you're not a trained chef, you can totally teach people how to cook plant-based. You can even walk into a restaurant. I know people have gone to restaurants and shown people how to, replicate plant-based meals and, do the entire training process. So all you need is motivation. And if you go to the next slide, we'll show that Nilgun actually held an event where she taught people how to assemble a Buddha bowl. So Buddha bowls are incredibly popular nowadays, even in India. And you can totally customize it to your region. For example, you could make an Indian Buddha bowl, you can make an Asian Buddha bowl, you could make let's say, a Buddha bowl that's inspired by the Turkish cuisine. So everything is possible. All you need to do is open your mind to new experiences and to just make a few little shifts. Even as trainers and as trainees or attendees, it's just a matter of that little nudge, and you never know, just one little spark will bring about massive change. So thank you. And I'll pass it on to, I think Nilgun goes next.
Thank you, Joya. And I want to declare that I am not a chef. Although I'm known in the movement like I'm a chef, I was actually a retired bank officer. So with the motivation, like Jaya said, I turned into a chef, and I am so comfortable talking to the chefs as if I'm a chef, because I am the queen of my kitchen, and I have transferred many animal-based food to plant-based food, and that gives me strength, and I think everyone can do that. I'm the living example for that. So for this slide, we have been collaborating with organizations that would like to adopt a vegan policy or that have already adopted one. This is Uniqueer. And it was a wonderful starting point, because organizing workshops for their members and communities showing them how easy, affordable, and delicious vegan food can be, was an effective way to inspire lasting dietary change and encourage the wider adoption of the plant-based options. Here we cooked some muffins and salmon out of just carrots. Thank you, and I will pass it on to Naman.
Thank you so much, Nilgun. So, going with the menu change, we have your universities menu change at university. So this is one of the examples at Uruguay and Brazil. So in Uruguay, menu change in universities require a multi-level approach. So since even though public education is free, but the food system is not centralized in one simple way. We have university welfare there, which serves almost 500 meals a day to the scholarship students, but they have their own separate cafeterias and each of them have their different facilities. So everything becomes very different and there are multiple barriers. So we have built a small multidisciplinary team. So it has a campaign coordinator, it has a chef and a vegan nutritionist and a marketing support. So the reason we have a nutritionist on our team is because we don't want to miss out on any nutrition part. People often think that by replacing animal-based meal with the plant-based meal, you would miss out on your proteins, on your omegas, on your calciums, and something like that. And that is the reason they never try to switch back. But we want to break that barrier. That is the reason we have nutritionists on our teams. So all the menus that we make and all the food that we are teaching them are in fact even more on the higher side in terms of nutrition. So that's why we always try to have nutritionists on our team and they make the menus, which makes it even more scientific and credible. So yeah, that is what currently we are doing at Uruguay, and we are meeting their federal directors and everyone. At Federal University of Jatai. It is one of the federal universities. And that director became the ambassador for the plant-based treaty. So now he himself is, promoting our work there and trying to get more students go plant-based. So that's what we are doing in Uruguay. So what worked? We have different entry points and different strategies. So this is one of the examples in Uruguay. We have done something very similar in Bhutan. But what worked in Bhutan is not working in Uruguay. So since it's a global organization and we have almost 100 teams across the world, we always try to, make our own new strategies that works in one country that might not work in another. So we always try to work them and, play with them and try in a way that our work gets done. So that's what it is. There are different entry points for different universities due to cultural differences, due to language barriers, due to other operational things. So that's how we try to work. And we always try to, prioritize universities' requirement that helps us to place our foot into the door. So that's how we work. So it's different entry points, different strategies, and a lot of progresses across the world. So that's it. That was all from our side, from PlantBased TT's team. And if anybody has anything, if you guys want to ask us, please shoot. And we would love to answer them.
Right. That was great. Thank you very much, guys. Very informative. Can somebody spotlight me? Thank you very much. Great. Wow, you're covering so many cities. Really wonderful. Anybody got any questions? I'm sure there must be hands up from the Q&A section. You can put it in the chat. If you've got questions, feel free to raise your hands or put it in the chat. Hello, Alison. What's your question?
Yes. I'm in Lima, Peru, and of course I'm in touch with the plant-based treaty team here in Lima, Peru. It's so impressive the number of countries that you're working in. And I also receive your newsletter, I guess you'd call it, but I get the news about what's happening in different places, your victories, your accomplishments. And it's so impressive to see all of the teams. You said you were in over 100 countries. So I'm wondering a couple of things. What is your overall, do you have like a goal for 2026, a goal for 2027? And also I wondered, how do you coordinate all of these different teams and all of these different countries so that you can reap the benefits of sharing your learnings?
Yeah. So, thank you so much, Alison. I mean, first of all, telling about plant-based cities and everything. So we are really glad for that. So answering the first question, it was what? Can you just repeat the first part? I still remember the second part, which was about how do we coordinate. But what was the first part?
Um, I don't know if I
I'm so
Well, how
remember
do
what
sorry.
I
I'm
you
was,
sorry.
coordinate, Naman? How do you coordinate
but
it?
that was the
Okay.
second part. Yeah,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I was going to
coming to
ask you
the
about your if you have goals for
oh yeah
2026,
goals.
if you have
Yes.
goals for 2027, yeah.
Yeah. So, in the terms of goal, currently we have 77 cities, as I said, who have endorsed the plant-based city across the world. Some are symbolic, some are doing the works and all. So, for the 2026, we also plan to get at least one country endorsements. So, in a country endorsement, we get an entire country who endorses the plant-based treaty, and we get plant-based policies, getting worked there and all. So we are working with Bhutan as one of the countries. We are working with a couple of countries in the Caribbeans. We are also working with the African Union in Africa. So there are a couple of countries that our team is working on to get a country level endorsement. That is one of our goals. And along with that, we also want to hit our 100 city targets of endorsements across the world. And soon, of course, in next maybe a year or so, we want to hit 500,000 endorsements. Currently, we have 250,000, but by next year we want to hit 500,000. So that's how fast we want to progress in next 1 to 2 years. And now coming to the coordinating part. So yes, I mean coordinating is something it is difficult sometimes because it's a huge movement started by our co-founder and executive director Dr. Anita Cranks and from Toronto, Canada. So to coordinate and have the seamless things, like everyone is updated and all, we have meetings always lined up. We have plant-based treaty update meetings, and like as I've shared, we have 5 programs. So we have also started to divide our meetings based on our programs. So like we have meetings every Friday. So on one of the Fridays we'll have meeting that focuses on city campaigns. On another Friday, the alternate one will have the meeting that focuses only on the menu change. So that's how we, keep the track of our work across the world, like, which city or which country is working on which programs. So that actually helps us to be on the track and, everyone know what they are doing and everything. And even apart from that, like, for example, this time the COP is happening in Turkey. So Nilgun is even working more like, she's working in that entire COP region in the Turkey to get most of the things done, and like many restaurants to go plant-based and vegan and serve the vegan food during the COP era and even after that. So that's how we try to do. And if any Nilgun, Jaya, if you guys want to add anything.
Well, I can say our ultimate goal is always ending animal agriculture for 2026 and 2027 and forever until the day.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's very helpful to hear. That helps me a lot to understand how you're working, because we all want to support you. And I see Toby has his hand up, and I'm sure he'll tell you about his experience with plant-based treaty in Spain. Anyway, we would love to support you. And as you know, we've done some projects together as organizations. So the more we can be in touch, the better.
Right, great. Also, hi Toby. Just before you just raise your question, a quick thing is with Bhutan and the work that's going on there. Like it's challenging, I guess, to get people over. Maybe. How is that? How do you get people to go over and to be able to help on those initiatives? I mean, I think is it quite easy to just book a flight and go over and be part of the team? I mean, is there a process for that? I mean, who wouldn't like to experience that if they're able to share that kind of knowledge with the local people there?
Yeah. So I would divide this question into two parts. So first half I would answer, second half Jaya would answer on the trainings. So how it actually started was like if you remember during our presentation, I said that networking is our key aspect. In all this high level political forum meeting last year, our team, our UN team, they met one of the people of Bhutan. And that was, the one connection that actually sparked into this entire thing there. So that person helped us to connect with the ministries there, and that's how things work. And this is, I think, our second trip to Bhutan. So this was our second trip in April. So in the first trip we went there, we explored how things are working. We did 1 day, 2 day workshops there, and the ministry was actually they were very happy with all the results. And they themselves approached us second time that they want to take it to even one level further. So in the first visit, we were working with city councils there, with their capital city, which is Thimphu. And this time, when we went in the month of April, we were working with Ministry of Education and Skills Department. So this ministry controls all the schools. So they have almost 742 schools across Bhutan. So this time when we went, we actually were on the part to train everyone. But since it cannot be done by two people, so this ministry, like the Ministry of Education and Skills Development, they started this program called Training of Trainers. So it was a 26-day program where, Jaya gave hands-on training to first two pilot schools where we were actually working. She was every day teaching them to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they have their set menu, which is set by government, but of course it's a non-vegan one. So Jaya veganized it along with a nutritionist. She veganized it and she was making the vegan alternatives to all the non-vegan dishes. And the students, of course, they loved it. They wanted it even more and all. So that's how it got better. And in last, I think 1 week, government just came up with this plan that they wanted us to do this training of trainers. So even they put, I think 25 to 30,000 US dollars into that entire program. So we were super happy that, our very small investment of going there and teaching actually sparked government to put money there, and they are still doing it, which is even much more better. We keep seeing this updates from them that they are pumping more money and they are expanding it to even more region. So in last 1 week, so we had like 3 days of. So in Bhutan, it is divided into districts. So we have states with us, but they have districts. So they have 20 districts. So in the first 3 days, we had trainings with 10 districts. And the last 3 days, we had training with the remaining 10 districts. So it was 60 people across the districts whom Jaya trained. And now they have went back to the districts and they are training it even more further. So it got like, chain reaction that Jaya teached 120 people and that 120 people are teaching even more people now. So that's how it worked with us in the Bhutan. And we also had a couple of connections there with ministers and with delegates and with ambassadors there. So that actually helped us to penetrate better there and, get our work done. So I'll pass it on to Jaya really quick and she can just tell about the training of trainers thing.
Yes. Also, I just wanted to add that this is not something that happened overnight. It was, like every year. This was, I so happened to go in 2024, then we went in 2025, and then in 2026. So it's been a lot of hard work and networking that went into play to build it to what it was. And like Naman said, also we also got Naman spoke very well with the mayor of Thimphu, and we got the endorsement for this, city of Thimphu. So, and even they collaborated with us, and we ended up holding a little seed distribution event at Clock Tower, which is a very iconic space in Thimphu. And beyond that, with the trainings also, I would say that building connections is very, very important. It's like building a friendship, even though it's work. Building connections go a very long way, and that has really helped us. Right from having people in the restaurant industry, to the education ministry and all of that. So constantly being in touch with them has really helped us, and it has helped us go forward and take that many more steps. And in terms of the training, at first there was skepticism from the trainers. They were not sure like why are they doing it, what's going on. But then after we made sure we let them, put them at ease and told them like this is very easy, it's not so difficult. And even little tips like, for example, don't waste the greens. For example, beetroot greens or cabbage greens. Many people just throw it away. So we also encourage zero waste cooking. So, they either put it on salads or put it in their lentils. And so those little tips have also helped. And we also gave them certificates at the end of the course, and they were so, so happy with it. Some people may not appreciate it that much, but over here, the chefs really, really appreciated that. And another interesting thing is that Naman and I also went to the Hotel and Restaurant Association in Bhutan. And on Earth Day, we actually held a vegan chef challenge at a school itself, at one of the schools. And it was fantastic. It was all very last minute. But we also had someone from I forgot the name of the lady. Maybe Naman can enlighten. The Dasho, what was her name, Naman? So she came.
Tashi Pim. She was secretary at Federal Ministry of Industry and Commerce.
Yes. So even she graced the event. It was so last minute, but everyone just came together and helped us, and we had a very nice, interesting vegan challenge. And one of the chefs from the school also participated. We were so touched and pleased by that. He's just a school chef, actually. He didn't think much of himself also, but he participated. We motivated him to participate, and he was competing with other trained seasoned chefs from big hotels.
Right.
So it was very beautiful. So
thank you for
yeah,
telling us that. I mean, there's lots to share there, obviously, lots of goals, lots of achievements, and I think Bhutan can be a case study in itself to get that kind of official support for this endeavor. We have Ken Hamji. Sorry, Toby, you've come off, but Ken Hamji, you have a question, please. Hello, Ken. Please ask your question.
There it is. Wow, I'm really impressed about the legwork that you've done for COP31. That's incredible. Working with restaurants and hotels and that sort of detail. I think you mentioned that in Bhutan you had a marketing person as part of the team. I was just interested what the marketing person's role was.
Yeah, so hi Ken. So we didn't had a marketing person in Bhutan's team. In specific, we have them in the Uruguay and Brazil team. So their role is mainly to, of course, get foot into the door and publicize the message as more as possible to get even more universities in touch with us to spread our message across. So that's what our marketing people do. They always try to promote our work on social medias, via newsletters and other ways, to get even more leads, of colleges, universities, or other sectors. So, yeah.
Great.
I know the hotels, the hospitals in New York City had a very clever marketing approach to get the patients to select the meals. They called it the chef's choice, and so they had the chef's choice. And people just chose the chef's choice. It didn't say it was vegan or anything like that. They just chose the chef's choice, and they loved them, and they repeated. That's the most important thing. They repeated requesting them during their stay at the hospital. So I thought that was a very intelligent marketing approach. Also, chef's choice. I love it.
Yes, that does work. It keeps it very neutral and universal, doesn't it? Yes.
I mean,
it's a very nice point. Thank you so much.
For restaurants or hotels, the same sort of thing can be done. Chef's choice.
That's
it doesn't have to
definitely
be
a
declared
takeaway
as
point.
vegan.
That's definitely a takeaway point. Thank you for that. I think we're coming to the top of the hour. If there's any, Toby, would you like to? Is it a comment or a question?
It's a question, yeah.
Okay, if you could ask a question really quickly, that'd be great.
There's someone in the chat. They say, have you received reports back from any of these cities or any of these organisations where they quantified the financial, social and other forms of benefits and improvements in performance indicators so that you could bring these results to the next cities and organisations you approach?
I would say we got those financial metrics and other metrics from Bhutan in more specific, because it was a long project. But along with that, we also have other metrics with other cities like Amsterdam and Edinburgh from UK and everything. So we have like various metrics that we track across the cities. So somewhere it is financial thing, somewhere it is the carbon emissions, somewhere it is the money saved per meal saved. So yeah, we do have that, and we try to keep a record of it. And when we reach out to our another cities, we always try to use it and pitch it in that way. So, for example, I'll give you one of the examples of, again, Bhutan, where, we did the price comparison. And the plant-based meals was, I think, 8x cheaper than the animal-based meal. So that helped us to pitch them for this training of trainers model. So that's what we always try to do. We work with the facts and numbers. So we try to collect those numbers. I mean, as you said, the financial metrics is a very important one because, of course, that shapes the entire narrative. So that is there. And then there is acceptance rate and various other things that we try to measure. And we keep the record of it so that when we are reaching to some cities, some countries, some other institution, government bodies, we try to present to them what they want to hear and, do our actions. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's
Great. Have we got room for one more? That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Is there some more questions, Toby? Do you think they can ask the questions? Have you got them there that can be forwarded to the team, to Nilgun, Naman, and Jaya? Can they have those questions forwarded to them? And also the work's
Yeah,
great.
okay.
If we want to contact you, is it okay for you to share your details? Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I just dropped in. I was just writing that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That's a great presentation, and it's just really wonderful to hear how many cities and how much work's been going on, how and where, and the legwork. So thanks for sharing and contributing to the conference, the vegan conference of the people. Number 26.
And thank you so much, Krish, for having us. It was really nice. It was a pleasure for us to be here, share our work, and even learn. And I mean, we will learn a lot even from the Ken's suggestion and from things going.
Yeah,
So thank you
course.
so much for having us.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
always try to collaborate with climate healers, wherever we can and do a lot of things.
Yes.
So really glad to be
Yes,
part of it.
thank you. Thank you to the entire climate healer teams, for sure. Great. So thank you very much.
The earth is calling soft and clear, not with judgment, not through fear. She whispers through the wind and trees, remember who you're meant to be. We are not divided souls, but living parts of greater wholes. Every heart, every nation holds a piece of worldwide resolution. We have remedies beyond survival, beyond the stories of denial. 1,000 pathways join as one. The healing has already begun. We have the remedy for compassion revolution, peaceful collaboration, a worldwide resolution, loving guidance lights the way. Hope for humanity begins today, with loving kindness hand in hand. Together we restore the land. True nature lives in every seed, in every generous word and deed. The rivers, forests, skies and seas reflect the peace we choose to breathe. Spiritual embodiment, a living sacred testament, not escaping from this earth, but honoring her endless work. Sacred restoration, hearing every generation. The birthright to existing in freedom, shared by every life beneath the sun. Beyond our borders, beyond our names, love burns brighter than our blame. From every culture, every shore, we discover what we're living for. remember